Hello, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining me for our remote music appreciation session. I can imagine it's been a really challenging and difficult week for some, if not all of you. And I'm really grateful to our leaders who have decided to take this week off because it feels so challenging to be in the midst of a crisis that is happening all around us and then to not have the space to process it because we have chores or other tasks that we need to do and jobs. And so it's really great to be able to take the time to mourn and be with family and friends who have lost everything, and just to be mindful of what's going on in our city. So I really appreciate that we've taken this time, although it did make me very sad to know that we won't be able to have our second week together in person. But we just hope that having this virtual or asynchronous time to engage with music will keep our community spirit alive, and I'm really glad to still be here in whatever way I can. The main theme that we wanted to tackle this week is the idea of music as comfort. It's really fascinating how in all the cultures of the world there is music for the purpose of comforting and of being there in a difficult time. There's also, it's kind of like on the opposite side of the spectrum of music for celebration, but it's all kind of connected to this idea that music has a very human and relational purpose. Alan Merriam, who is an ethnomusicologist that I came across while I was TAing this world music class here at USC, said something really interesting that I'd love to share with you now about how music is a uniquely human phenomenon. Here, let me read you the quote. In Alan Merriam's book, The Anthropology of Music, in a chapter called Toward a Theory for Ethnomusicology, he says, writing about the social characteristics of music, that music is a uniquely human phenomenon which exists only in terms of social interaction. That is, it is made by people for other people, and it is learned behavior. It does not and cannot exist by, of, and for itself. There must always be human beings doing something to produce it. In short, music cannot be defined as a phenomenon of sound alone, for it involves the behavior of individuals and groups of individuals, and its particular organization demands the social concurrence of people who decide what it can and cannot be. I find this really fascinating because in the past, and honestly in the recent past, a lot of music scholarship has had to do with what music sounds like. What about the rhythm and how complex is it, and what do these sounds come together to make with harmony? And we talk a lot about the sonic elements of music because they're so complex and beautiful. But Alan Merriam is saying here that that's not the most important part of music making or of music as a concept in general. He's saying that it is made by people for other people. So at the heart of any music is this desire to connect with someone else. So one example of music being a human to human phenomenon, where it's not about the quality or it's not about the complexity of the music, is I think of a mother's simple lullaby to her baby who she's trying to put to sleep. She's not thinking of the music as being performative, and it's not to make money or it's to gain fame. It's simply this act of soothing a baby that is causing her to sing a melody, and no one really thinks about how difficult it is. It's just the simple that idea that you're doing it in order to to connect with somebody else, be it an infant. I think that's really special, and it shows that there's this very human dimension of music. And I also think about how people sing together during times of protest, during different social demonstrations. They will sing a common song to rally each other and themselves for a cause. So there's all types of ways that human beings use music, and it's really great to lean into those ways, especially when times are challenging. And throughout all genres and cultures, there is this theme of comfort, and of being there for each other through music. And so I've put together this short playlist, which I will actually ask you to engage with in a different way this time in a little bit. But I've put together a playlist of music and pieces that feel very comforting to me. They're kind of all over the place in terms of genre. We've got Coldplay and Mariah Carey and Johnny Cash and Bill Withers, songs that throughout my life have been really, really impactful. And I think that's another part of it too. Music for comfort can be music that's specifically intended to comfort others through the lyrics, but it can also be just music that is comforting to you personally. I know that there are certain classical pieces that feel very soothing and comforting to me, or that bring a sense of nostalgia, because I associated with someone that I loved who has passed, and that brings a lot of comfort and good memories to me that may not feel the same for somebody else. And that's what's really fascinating about music, and that we can make our own connection with it that doesn't necessarily fit the exact purpose why it was written. But these songs that I've chosen specifically are ones that are definitely intended to bring people together. And one thing that I would like to share with you from these songs, that I learned actually from reading about the stories behind them, is that they were intentionally written as a conversation, where one person is speaking to another person. So for example, Lean on Me by Bill Withers, it's a classic. It is a song that is directly appealing to the listener as almost like a one-on-one conversation. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. So it has this very, very personal, very relational aspect to it. And after reading that, I noticed that a lot of the songs in here that I selected, or that feel very comforting to me, is when the singer or the musician is addressing me personally. So Coldplay, When I Need a Friend, it's talking about himself from a first person perspective. Or No One Is Alone from the musical Into the Woods. It is from a scene where these young adults are talking to children, and they're literally having a conversation about, believe me, no one is alone, you are not alone. So I realized that what comforts me personally, and what might comfort some of you as well, is feeling like I can connect with the person who is making the music, because they're trying to reach out to me personally, even though they can't do that. But through the lyrics and through the message, I feel a sense of communion with that person, and a sense of comfort that I truly am not alone, and that there's someone out there that is trying to reach out to me. But as we talked about, things that feel comforting to me, or songs that feel comforting to me, may not be what's comforting to you. And what I would like to invite you to do with me this week is to join in on a joint collaborative playlist. I would love for you to share with us your personal songs of comfort that you have found to be very, very soothing and uplifting when times are difficult. I think bringing us together in this way will help us to not only see each other's musical tastes, but also to get to know each other in a way that maybe we haven't been able to yet. Because some of the songs that I have heard from others have really inspired me in the future. Now, thinking about it, there are songs that some of my classmates or friends or family members have shared with me, and they've kind of come into this general playlist of mine, and I might not have heard of them before my friend showed them to me or my family member showed it to me. So I would love for you to join in, and let's make this a community effort to find music that can inspire us during this really, really challenging time. I want to thank you very much for being here with me in this very unusual space, but I hope you know that I have enjoyed my limited time with you so much, and I definitely plan on coming in person when we are going to be meeting in person again. You all are truly so inspiring and so eager and motivated to learn. I think for me, that is just a really, really beautiful vision of the future, of what I can do in the future and how I can continue to engage with learning and engaging with other people as I, throughout my life. So you're definitely an inspiration, and I truly hope that you are safe. Please take the time to do whatever you need to do this week to find comfort, bring comfort to your loved ones, and find a way to give back to our community in this time where we have been really struggling. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all soon.